An update on the Plymouth. You can see the body sitting on the chassis. They are one now. It has a cage minus the door bars. We still have to do those, and we still have to do a support brace between the shock towers. The part of the chassis that you see that is white is left over from the GT1 Corvette chassis, and then the stuff that is bare metal is stuff that we've added and making that work with the Plymouth body. So you can see it's all steel in here, and then when we get back to these bits, it is white paint. So that's GT1. The GT1 chassis is a pretty cool setup. You can see how long this upper control arm is for the rear axle. It's pretty wild. And then similarly, the lower control arms go from the rear axle all the way forward here. I think we'll wind up painting the whole chassis, but I wanted to keep as much of the race car paint on the components as possible. So like this differential center case being red and having the gear ratio painted on there, the housing having scratches and wear and tear. I really like that about this. Like, the whole idea is that it's a old Plymouth body and it's a used race car, and we're merging the two, but you should be able to see both vehicles in here, that they both had other lives, and now they're being connected and becoming something new, which I think is kind of fun and exciting and different for us because we're usually working with a lot of brand new parts. So it's fun to put a car together with parts that you already have on hand. We already had this engine for a different project, the transmission for a different project. So I already had the race car. The only thing that we bought for this project was the Plymouth body because I needed something, in the Dodge family, so to speak, to match with that motor and transmission. So this is a project that's come together to make use of that V10. So it's going to be a showpiece, the centerpiece in this car. But even that motor is a used Gen 4. It's been rebuilt by Prefix. The transmission is a TR6060, and it's been rebuilt by Tick Performance. We also rebuilt the doors, including all the felt in the windows and the window channels. There were metal bits that were rusted, supports that were loose that we had to clean up, weld back in there, etc., etc. So it's a lot of work. Got them all rebuilt. We're putting polycarbonate windows in because it's lighter. It's race car, just on the side windows and on the back. And kind of a fun thing, I don't know if everybody's familiar with these old cars, but it's really cool. When you roll the windows down, they first move back so that you have a vent. So instead of having like the little tiny vent windows, this thing just creeps back. And what I was told, I don't know if it's true or not, was that this was for ashing your cigarette. It comes back first and then goes down. So it's pretty neat setup. Also on the Plymouth, the hood has a piece that slides in. It slides in between this piece and this top piece. So they sit together like that. Obviously this is broken and it's kind of bent up. And I tried to find some online, and it was weird because all the ones that are supposed to be for a 35 Plymouth, even 5-window coupe, the holes were either back here or these pieces were really long. And either way, it really isn't going to work for us. So Josh made us a new one just from metal in the shop. Actually fabbed it all up, but it's really cool that he got the little edges on there, that the hole's countersunk, just like this original one, but it's a really nice piece. He did a good job. So there's some stuff like that, especially with these old cars, where you're just not going to be able to get, if you don't have them on the car to begin with, you're not going to get them unless you build them. So it's one of the reasons, like, I tend to buy cars that are nicer than what we need as far as being complete goes, but we want all that trim, we want the emblems, all that stuff we get to retain. You can see the steel rockers. This is new, but the door sill here was original, so we moved it up 4 3/4 inch. And the intent here was to allow ourselves room for the exhaust. So we could have side exhaust, and then you can open and close the door and it clears the side exhaust. It did mean this is where the floor used to be on the Plymouth, so we're also raising the floor to this height, which is good because it's a very tall car and we have to raise the seats anyway to be able to see properly out of the windshield. This is the ledge where the floor is going to sit. So we've got some support there. And then we have all of this space where we're going to run coolant tubes and electrical and fuel lines will go under the floor to the back of the car. Inside, we're adding inner skins to the body. Of course, we're going to have new fuel lines. We do have a new fuel cell, and it's going to drop in here pretty low between the frame rails. So hopefully we get to reuse a different style, but use the same gas filler hole in this Plymouth body. We are planning on having the radiator in the back here. So we're going to have some ducting, some side scoops to bring in fresh air. So it is going to get pretty crazy. Definitely one of the most exciting projects that I've gotten to work on so far.